You've all got your cup of tea? My name's Uraine Roelofs. I'm a proud Kokatha Mirning Greek woman from the far west coast of South Australia. I currently live here in Queensland in Uraine language group country. So I would love to pay respects where I work and play and raise my family. Just pay respects to the elders of this land, also the ancestors of this land, emerging elders, and also all of the Uraine language group children of this country. I also would love to pay respects to the neighbouring tribes as well, where I work and play, the Yagara people. So I'm a long way from home. So I'm the creator and founder of Nano Magic Children's Show. I did a Bachelor of Dramatic Arts at the Victorian College of the Arts. Then after that I went on to do an Indigenous Arts Management certificate. And during that time I had a little baby, so it was great to be able to bring her into uni while breastfeeding. And I had family come over to help as well. How has your experience of the first 1,000 days impacted myself as an artist? So the first 1,000 days of having my daughter and then my son has just impacted me greatly. It's actually made me stronger as a person. It's made me more connected to culture, land, language. Well, having a really good partner actually helps as well. So the support, it has greatly impacted me having children. You know, it's shaped my way as an artist today. Like previous to having kids, I was doing dance gigs with the Seven Sisters. I was touring shows, doing all kinds of different gigs, and I thank Ilbidgery Theatre Company for that as well, for giving me that opportunity in Kulin Nation. And I lived there for a few years, for about 10 years. On and off, always got to go back home to Ceduna, you know, every 6 months, you know, just to feel that connection and just to replenish my soul. As a First Nations Kokatha Mirning Greek woman, is that when I go back home and I eat my bush tucker and I drink the water from my area, it really nourishes my body, helps me thrive and survive as a First Nations person. What makes us strong in our culture is connection to country. Eating our bush tucker is vitally important. That gives us strong identity for our country, and also the animals and the trees. It aligns us spiritually to be able to thrive and speak the language as much as we know, to continue speaking the language and even singing and dancing, to be strong in our culture, is so important for us as First Nations parents and people working in the industry. It's just so important that our children are exposed to our culture. Our language is vitally important. Our stories, especially from elders, passing it down to our children. Put that message out there, you know, for people to connect with our local elders in your area, connect with mob. We go out hunting, camping, fishing, you know, we catch our produce. We go out bush and we get our waru and our marlu, you know. They go hunting, they go camping, you know. So that's so important that we continue doing that and continue to strengthen our children through our culture. Eating our bush tucker is good for our babies. Connection through songs, to learn all the species of plants that are around. You know, what can we eat? What can't we eat? I'm like, there's something about an old Nana character that I always resonated with. And sitting down with my Nana and having cups of tea was so warm, calming and peaceful, and it was just really like always a lovely time cooking, and you know, her teaching me recipes and just hanging out with my nan, you know, which was just so soulful in many ways. So it stems from her strength as well as, you know, her wisdom as well as to why I created this character. Among other things, it's like this huge big process, creative process that I went through. It is an energetic Nana, you know, full of love and life, and, you know, then there was something in that. Also created Nano Magic was to build those bridges between young and old, because back in the day with assimilation and colonization, a lot of our, you know, elders were told not to speak language, not to talk, and that's part of the reason why I created her, was to start conversations, you know, was to get old people to talk to the young people, and young people to engage and talk with the elders as well. So that was part of the whole reason why I created Nano Magic as well. But another factor is even just hearing the vibration of our elders, you know, speaking to our young ones, which was so important for me, and with like the song lines, and in terms of that vibrational energy, you know, of the singing voice and the energy within our own culture, you know, to raise that vibration and sing songs into the earth and into our children, you know, sing the right songs of the right path, so that we could all collectively on the same conscious level be connected and whole and complete and strong within our own cultural backgrounds and tribes. Connecting through nature, land, and through my child, you know, using those big facial expressions and different voice, you know, which I learnt at uni. So I was using that with my children, you know, to get them talking and speaking and using big words. And yeah, so I came up with that idea, Nana, it's something to do with a Nana, and then all of a sudden it was like Nano Magic, and me and my husband were like, yes, Nano Magic, that's it, you know. And the more I spoke about this Nano Magic character, the more it evolved over time. Just in the last year and a bit, I actually met a costume designer, and I worked with her to develop the hair for Nano Magic, which was a really cool and creative process, collaboration, which was great. And now at the moment I'm currently working with some circus performers, which is really, really exciting. So we're just collaborating and workshopping and just having some fun and creating some new work, which is great, and I'm really excited about it. Next question is, what is the importance of the first 1,000 days, and how can the arts and cultural sector support it? Well, the importance of the first 1,000 days of my being a mum is having that support, outside support, somebody to talk to, you know. And because I live here now in Yugambeh country, I actually came over from Melbourne and I didn't know anybody here, you know, and I was pregnant as well with a daughter, and it was just really hard for me to find friends, you know. And after I had my son, I wrote on the little notice at the end when you have a baby, yes, I need support with a mums and bubs program. And then it was when the Jarjums came over to see how I was, and they said, oh, we've got a Jarjums mums and bubs, you want to come? And I said, yes, I would love to, because I was kind of in a bit of a bubble with the kids and a 6-week-old baby. And so one day I went down to the local Jarjums, you know, because I reached out as well, you know, like, I need help, I need friends, and it's good to make that phone call, you know, yeah, I'm ready now, can you come over and come visit, you know. And then I actually stepped out and I met other First Nations mums and we would cook, we would sing songs, and there was that support from the workers as well, and it was like one big happy family, you know. And before joining, I actually felt really, really alone, you know, and then it made me realise going to the group every Tuesday, Jarjum's Mums and Bub, it actually opened up myself again, and it helped me nurture me and my children. You know, they'd be like, "Oh, little Elvis has arrived," because my son, he had the most biggest hair, you know, like little black Elvis. So they used to say, "Oh, little black Elvis is here," and he was the most cutest and chubbiest little thing, and like we would just share babies, you know, "Give me your baby," and cuddle. And it was then where Nano Magic popped up in my brain again, because I kind of had forgotten about. So I was like, "Hey, can I bring in some material to try on the kids and see if they like it?" And yeah, so every week I would bring in little material to share with the little Jarjums, the kids and the parents, and then the parents would give me feedback as well. "Yeah, I like this, I like that. Oh yeah, did you see the kids when they were dancing to this and that?" So that was really deadly for me to find, to use my Bachelor of Dramatic Arts and my Indigenous Arts Management to find my creativity and to have that nurturing support from the local Jarjums mob. So I think the Mums and Bubs programs are really helpful for artists. And also having the support, my sister actually, she's got her own recording studio under her stairs, Crystal Mercy, aka Lady Lash. She actually helped me develop this little album that we did in like 2 days. It was so much fun. We couldn't stop laughing. We had like belly laughters. My friends in the RC community as well, which is really good. And the support of the Mums and Bubs at the Jarjums, which was really great. What strategies do I have in place within my Nano Magic business that supports mamas and families? I think for the business side of things as well, it's important to map out a plan, to think strategically with your business, to have goals, and then action plans of what are your action plans, how are you going to get from A to B. Alright, there's this course I can do that's going to help me get to A and then to B. That's also good in the home with your own family, but for your business as well. It actually keeps my mind focused on what I'm actually doing, and to just keep an eye on my platforms as well. So I've got Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Yeah, and that's just like an ever ongoing kind of process. As I'm going, I'm learning. So yeah, that was really vitally important to have creative control over my content, you know, and ownership of my content, so that I could have authority over what can be put out there on the social media platforms or in the media in general. Really important for me as an artist to have that creative cultural control over my content and over my work. Like now, I'm actually filming and recording this by myself because I have control of my content and in which the narrative that I want to portray as myself, rather than having somebody else have that control over what content and what focus and alignment that comes from myself as an artist. So I wanted to be the narrative and the creator of that, which gives me strength and power within myself as an artist. And I just hope that everybody who is an artist out there can actually have access to be able to have that ownership of your own creative work. to have integrity. I wanted Nano Magic to have integrity, not only as the character, but as myself, Uraine Roelofs, as the artist. I wanted to live with integrity. So to know what we're doing in our own backyards, to create that positive change. It's one thing being something online or in front of people, but behind closed doors, what are you actually doing, So I always sit by that to try and have integrity in everything that I'm doing. And I know as a mother, it can be so hard to try and be a good parent, and we're all trying our best in terms of, just trying to be a good parent, good, strong parent. But if we always go back to nature and how nature intended it to be, I think we're on the right path. Strong foundation for our family, which is our home, that stems from cultural identity. It's the idea that we're all beings on this planet with energy. It all works with energy, with the trees, with the land, with the vibrations of the earth. Even for children, the idea of telling stories, as a parent and as an artist. But the art is in the parenting. The art is in the complexities of a relationship. The art is everywhere, essentially, even in our imaginations. So to separate myself from Nano Magic is essentially, it's the same. It's just a heightened, it's a heightened character of myself, and so she's all about the earth, putting the love and care messages to people about looking after the earth, to live sustainably with the earth, to raise our vibrations as parents for our children, to have those cups of teas with our kids. My kids love, dipping biscuits in a cup of tea, and that's our special little thing that we love to do. Going out and fossicling out in nature, finding stuff on the ground like leaves or bark, and then we come home and we paint it, or make little mobiles out of it, or take the dogs for a walk, feed the chickens, teaching them about compost and worm farms. And I've actually just recently got a beehive, so we're going to be doing our own bee, harvesting our own honey soon, and also to teach them about looking after the earth, having our own garden at the back as well. They have their own little garden beds where they plant whatever they want. We've got corn growing there, tomatoes, basil, we've got spinach growing, what else do we have, shallots and oregano and chives and all sorts of things there. So I guess the simplicities of that, and the idea of, not even an idea, a grounding for our kids, to have the platform as a unit, as like me and my partner, to be strong within the home for our children, because it all starts here. The first 1,000 days of a child's life. We are the makers, we are the creators of these babies, but essentially we are just guiding them, into a positive future for themselves, with what we know, so and I think to have this platform, it's really bit by bit by bit, and essentially that's how I created Nano Magic. It didn't happen over time. Gosh, it's like 7 years in the making, so it does take time, bit by bit by bit by bit by bit. Okay, website's due, okay, got to do insurances, logo, so money, bit by bit. We've had to juggle everything through, like our little filtration systems of the complexities of living, mortgage bills and car payments, and so there's all these complexities and these layers of life, and the arts actually helps me as an artist be me, It animates my life. It makes me feel whole being an artist and a mother at the same time. It gives me purpose. It gives me a life that I never thought possible. I actually love my life. I love the people around me, my community. I love my partner, my children, to have that love, to raise the vibrations, because if we can't look after our own backyards or our own platform, how are we to, help anyone else at the end of the day? We got to make sure that we're right, mentally and sustainably in our own ecosystems, in our own homes, so I say that during this time we need to protect our own family's mental health and those who we love dearly around us, to really nurture that. The next question is, what does a First Nations perspective of the first 1,000 days looks like in the home, and what can we learn from Indigenous methodologies? Gosh, well, it's really the simplicity of life, really, that heartbeat, engaging in all of our senses, feeling the earth, having my ancestors with me to help guide, and the creator of love and light and peace and strength and harmony, that actually exudes out of the character, but also out of myself as Uraine. So Nano Magic is essentially a product that I've created to send those messages out, to people about the caring of the earth, giving back to earth, and the vibrational energies of our beings, of our souls, of our vibrational energy into the earth, like what we put out is what we get back, essentially, so I want to show that First Nations culture and language is sacred, and water is sacred. The earth is sacred, each animal, each organism on the planet is all connected. We're all connected, and we're all a product of our surroundings. So this is our reality here this is my reality in my home, and I've got the things that I love and enjoy in my home, and then the surroundings in which there is as well. There's all these different realities of life where and even with the imagination as well, with children, like that's a whole nother reality where you step into the child's reality as well, and to not deflect that, but to go into, to encourage that in children. So yeah, essentially Nano Magic just loves the imagination and igniting that imagination and that spark, especially in adults, because we've been conditioned to be a particular way, and we're trying to teach our kids that particular way, but really, essentially, we are learning from the children. Children are learning from us, but we're also learning from them, because they're pure little beings that have entered the soul, the world, so I always look at it from that perspective. It's really important to try and have balance amongst it all, balance of life, balance of relationships, balance in the home, and sometimes things outweigh the other, but then we have to take a step back for a minute and and then I kind of write to help me readjust my thinking. I speak to somebody on the phone, I have a cry, I have a whinge with, one of my support networks, just to feel whole again, to find the balance. I don't really watch the news either. I kind of unplug from social media a lot of the time and just sit with my babies, and play a board game, or make a cubby house in the house, go out in the garden, go see the chooks, go sit with the dogs for a bit, you know, and just really unplug from mainstream media, you know, and that's good too. That's really good to do, because then we're sitting in our own thoughts and in our own being. The strategies also that I have is, because I do everything myself for Nano Magic, so essentially I do the emailing. I've been trying to keep a lid on it for so long, just because I've wanted to nurture my own family. So it's just all word of mouth. It started off as word of mouth. And the second show I ever did was 900 kids at a school, and then it just took off from there, you know, bit by bit. Like our school model, our teaching as a parent and an artist is to really essentially be connected with the stars, the moon, the sky, the clouds. You know, we can tell stories through the clouds and see shapes. Even the earth, the textures of a shell or of a plant, or a leaf, or a twig, or even the eyes of an animal, or, you know. I hope you mob stay deadly, stand tall and be proud, and have healthy, happy, strong foundations for your homes. And make sure you get time for yourself. Have that bath with Epsom salt and lovely lavender or lemon myrtle tea or something, you know, that would be nice too. Yeah, thank you, bye. I'm healthy and deadly.